It's another beautiful Monday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Veronica Danik-Boy. I have my beautiful co-hosts with me. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Good morning.
I'll start with you, Nima. How was your weekend?
This weekend was a working weekend. So
Was it restful?
Not at all. It was restful for the two parties in the house. One person was resting while the other person was jacking. I had to do a job on Saturday. I couldn't get to the wedding event I had. So my apologies, Mrs. Dada, but I came back home to a full house, in fact. But one good thing that happened was the call I got from the Minister for Works, because I mentioned the pothole that was developing at Mautu, and he said he has directed the particular department I mentioned to look into it. I saw them walking along the Badagry Expressway. They've ameliorated the Yanoba Road a bit. So this talk we're talking is actually getting results. So people are listening, someone is listening. Yes. And he said, you know, because you mentioned it, he wanted to get the particular place I mentioned, I described it, and in fact, it's very responsive, Minister. That's what leadership should be about. It shouldn't be about negative, because you talk about it, shouldn't be taken negatively. He took it and he wanted to do something about it, which is very commendable. And then the Peace and Unity events, one Ummah. So the Muslim usually do one Ummah Peace and Unity event to project Islam as a peaceful religion. And you know, we invite everybody, we get keynote speakers to talk about the positive Muslim side that we don't see because of Boko Haram killing and the, what's it called in Iraq? The other people killing and all that. That is not what Islam represents. The Peace and Unity event is coming up on the 11th of November this year in Nigeria. Oh, wow. At the Oriental Hotels.
It's not usually in Nigeria.
It happens in the UK mostly, Muslims abroad, but we were having it in Nigeria this year.
Madam is
of course. No, I'm not, but I'll be in the front seats. My best of the best sheikhs that I've always followed are coming. So Mufti Menk will be, Mufti Menk will be in Nigeria. What's her name? Naima Roberts will be in Nigeria. So all the
November 11th, all the Muslims should show.
Yes, we will show.
Really good this morning.
Thank you.
So how was your weekend?
It was really good. My throat is having issues. I think it was, I had fun at Celebration though.
So that was where you lost your voice?
Yes, I was at Celebration on Friday. I go back home 4 a.m.
Hey. Oh, wow.
Yes. And we wanted to leave earlier, but the place was jam-packed outside. There was no way we could get Uber to come in and all that. So we had to wait until traffic had reduced a bit. But it was really a beautiful experience. And what I realized is that you have so many young people. The place was full of people having fun. I wish we can engage, we can find a platform that will engage that amount of young people beyond just having fun, with political awareness to know what they should do. But I'm happy that Oma Omi, when she performed on Thursday, they said she stopped music and let everybody understand
try
that
to educate
don't
people. I saw that
vote,
video.
you know, and I felt that this is what we should get more artists doing. Beyond just entertaining and singing and jumping, you have a stake. People are following you like crazy. So people come and they are jumping all over you. Use your voice to make a positive impact in the lives of all these people because they look up to you. Let them vote right.
Just like we're doing here.
And then talking about that, I was at Celebration yesterday.
I'm not, really?
Yes, my husband and I, and the Vice President was there.
Wow, that was good.
Good. So, you know, she was talking as you were talking
Why, she didn't invite you?
No, we all remember about 20 years after. My case started this and it started small, like, you know, it wasn't, but look at where it is today.
Yeah. So you know, you were saying that it should not just be about people dancing and singing. So our Vice President definitely recognizes the power of celebration. You know, it's not just a national point of, you know, coming together. It has also become an international symbol. Do you understand? We had Macron come in. We now have our Vice President.
No, they do celebration across many countries.
You know, at the shrine. And then we also have a lot of the international artists coming in. It has become a culture. It has almost become a Nigerian culture. Something you can...
Something that we export.
Yes, that we export. So when people talk about Nigeria, they'll definitely talk about celebration as well. So I want
Veronica,
to say fantastic work that the Kuti family is doing. Yes, well done, well done.
It keeps
putting us
getting
on the
better.
map.
Of course, every year.
How was your weekend?
Well, I can't say I had a weekend, really, because I was here on Saturday to work. Yeah, as usual. I'm sure some persons thought that I was coming to read the news, but hey, I'm just being part of the show for some days. But then it's been a wonderful weekend, and Well, on Sunday, I watched ID Extra. Do you watch ID Extra?
No, I don't.
Where they show different stories about people, investigative stories about persons.
Yeah.
And this one was about a love story where this lady married this man, and in the end, she killed him because of
He cheated?
insurance money.
Oh my goodness.
Insurance money. And she also she was about killing her daughter. But she covered up because they thought the man died of hernia and all of that. But then they investigated and found out that actually she was the one that killed her husband. I was also about killing her daughter.
The
And
heart
also
of man.
killing
The heart of man is
son.
desperately evil.
So it's the height of wickedness.
Yes.
But you know,
Desperate.
talking about wickedness, I watched a particular documentary, and it was just talking about African women who have gone to be domestic workers abroad, and the sort of violence that they face. You know, so I was just saying, women, Nigerian women, it's not always greener on the, on the other side. Please, let's stay put.
Yeah.
And we love you. Just don't go out there. They really don't care about you.
All right, now when we return, the front page reviews starts. Stay with us. All right, now we'll start with the Punch. Oshomole attacks APC chiefs, plotting his removal. It is sad that while the national chairman is working round the clock, some stakeholders have thrown selfish political agendas into the mix. And then we have here at the top left corner, killings. El Rufai imposes curfew as tension rises in Kaduna. Another story here, we have Buhari, Saraki, Tinubu, PDP, others mourn ex-CJN Kutigi. EFCC arraigns fire shade today. Obanikoro, OT, others to testify against ex-governor. And then we have Atiku will give SGF slot to Southwest. Daniel, DPO allegedly brutalizes, detains activists for causing his transfer. Amoson leads Ogun Monarchs, ex-minister, to meet Buhari. Who has the Kaduna killing story?
Okay, so Kaduna killings, Kaduna State has imposed a 24-hour curfew. On Friday, there was violence broke out and about 55 people were killed. And then on Sunday, people were seen to be running helter-skelter. And so the governor imposed that 24-hour curfew just as a preemptive measure, so that violence does not break out. There's no particular story. No one is really saying what happened, what caused it. Some people said bees were seen in the market, and so because people were running helter-skelter, people thought that there was something happening. And another set of people said a particular person had a video and was taking a video of a pastor preaching, and some people saw that and got upset. And so there's no real particular story. But the scary thing is that we cannot keep blaming different governments and parties for killing each other. We are doing it to ourselves. We can't keep burying people and killing people and then looking for who to blame. If Nigerians do not take responsibility, it won't stop.
Nima, you have a story
No,
here.
I wanted to talk about the human interest, the
story here. The DPO allegedly
DPO,
brutalized and
So this human rights activist, Harrison Gwamrishu, was rearrested because, he runs a human rights activist group behind Baz Initiative in Asaba. He got a report that a lady's brother had been arrested. On getting to the police station, he found a police officer who he exposed as to the killing of a 17-year-old boy, and he was relocated from Warri to Asaba. And the first thing the man did was to give him a slap. This was captured on a video from one of his group members who videoed it. But, the police were smart in this. The same man went to the hospital and reported that he was beaten up by someone he locked behind bars. I think it should be properly investigated. And, they should use all the conspiracy theories and all the, circumstantial evidence to find out who is lying in this case, because the policeman is insisting he was beaten up. But there's a video to show
a video.
him.
Yes.
I want to take another still on the police story. Mr. Tunde Adekparusi, who is a security expert, was shot on his way to the airport. He was by the toll gate paying for the fee, and this happened 3 months ago. He said that the DPO of that particular police section is trying to cover up the case, that because there was circumstantial evidence against that he was shot by a stray bullet while they were pursuing criminals within the environment, but they haven't prosecuted the police officers and they haven't done anything concerning the case since this happened 3 months ago.
All right, let's quickly move on now to The Guardian. We have Buhari on Nogan Arewa leaders mourn Kutigi Tukur. We have fire shift for arraignment today over alleged 1.2 billion naira fraud orders. Nnamdi Kanu says he ran for dear life, vows to return. Labour, the major headline here says, Labour begins indefinite wage strike November the 6th. Oshomole hits back at state empires in APC.
So the Labour Union, NLC have issued out an ultimatum that the federal government should release a new minimum wage before November the 6th, or else they will go on an indefinite strike against the federal government's attitude. And I think all the state governors are complicit in this. They are the ones who are making it difficult for the federal government to arrive at an amount.
They are not able to pay that.
I still insist here that any state governor who can boldly say, I cannot or will not pay a new minimum wage, is admitting to the fact that he cannot generate funds for his state. He's not fit to be governor.
Quick addition to that, while we're waiting for the states and the Minister for Labour to resolve this issue, the legislative arm has a part to play, because they're the representative of people and they haven't said anything concerning what Labour is doing or what anybody in that negotiation is going through. And we need them to, National Assembly needs to speak up
to step into
concerning
the
what is going on there, because they represent the people.
All right, now let's move on to The Nation. We have the major headline saying 2019 Buhari Atiku Dango records SGF at Southwest. And then we have Buhari orders mourn as Kutigi dies at 78, flag fly at half-mast in courts. Kwara to prosecute of robbery suspects. Chinese club suspend Eagle star Igalo. Then why they want me out by Oshomole. I think that story is on almost all the papers.
The former CJN.
Yes, I was expecting that you talk about your learned colleague.
And he lived well, so he died at 79. 79?
Yes.
Okay, so the figures are conflicting, 78, 79. But he lived well. He died in London after a brief illness. And the son, Sani Kutugi, has said that they're making preparations to bring the corpse back to Nigeria for burial. All important personalities have mourned with the family.
Do you have a story here?
Oshomole, I don't think it's a deep story. It's just the chairman of APC said that he was brought in to reconcile the party and restore the party to the people that brought it together, and that some party stalwart or whatever, there were allegations that some people are trying to undermine his efforts, they are trying to hijack the party, but that he's going to continue to speak up. He didn't mention any names, it's just an allegation.
According to reports, it's a fallout from the APC primaries that happened across the country.
Kaduna case in study.
Well,
there's so many other cases.
Many cases. Well, Daily Sun, we have aftermath of APC primaries, like we said, plot against me by Adams Oshomole, says losers planning no confidence vote. Minimum wage Labour threatens fresh nationwide strike. 2019 Southwest may get SGF if Atiku wins. Daniel. Buhari, Saraki, Atiku, Obasaki, Tinubu, others mourn ex-CJN, Kutigi. Kanu vows not to face trial in Kangaroo
Let me quickly take the Atiku story. Just quick information. Atiku's Director General of his campaign organization, Benga Daniels, former governor of Ogun State, was speaking to pressmen and saying that the SGF will be zoned to Southwest. Currently, we already have a structure where the VP for the VP is going to be from the southeast, and now this is southwest, that the legislature is going to be due to whoever gets into power. The power play of that moment within the House will determine who the Senate President and who the Speaker will be.
Kanu has resurfaced, the Apapa leader.
Yeah, we saw the video.
Yes, and he's saying that he stands on having the people of the southeast and the southwest, south-south not voting. He still stands by that.
Yeah,
and make sure that they do not,
that unless there is a referendum
unless there's a referendum on Biafra, and south-south and southeast would no longer be called that, but will be called Biafra.
My question, how did he escape out of Nigeria?
When?
Because when he was under prosecution, he shouldn't be allowed to leave the country.
That's into his house
very
to kill him. They were going to kill him.
Yeah,
and, you know, he was able to escape. But my pain with him is that he didn't talk to his people for all this while. And a lot of people have lost their lives thinking he was murdered. requesting for his body to be, presented.
Exactly.
All right, quickly, we have the Vanguard. There is a gang up to remove me, Oshomole. Says party set to get victory in 2019. He threats us as his students, National Working Committee member. Minimum wage, Labour holds nationwide mass protest October the 30th. Vows not to negotiate with federal government again. Article zone SGF to Southwest, says Daniel. 4.7 billion naira fraud. Fayose moved to Lagos for arraignment today. Perhaps Fayose is to be arraigned today, and Musili Obanikore is said to be amongst those that will testify against him, as well as the bank manager also. Then we have Buhari's son-in-law goes to court against Katsina APC Goba Matsari emergence. Buhari IBB Saraki OB PDP Mon as ex-CJN Idris Kitige dies at 78. In 2019, Buhari wrecked nation's economy. Atiku fix it. PDP. Then we'll quickly move on to New Telegraph. I won't surrender my duties. The governor Oshomole says liquidation of APC won't happen under his watch. Muslim monarchs meet Buhari over Ogun crisis. Well, I think that's the much we can take on the newspaper headlines, because most of the stories seem to be all the same. And that's all we can take on the front page review. Next on Hot Topic, we're just about the trending Ooni of Ife's marriage. And later on, let's talk, we discuss the Apapa gridlock. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Over the weekend, the news of the Ooni of Ife, Oba Ogunwusi Adeyeye's new marriage to Shilekun Olamoronke Naomi filtered the social media. According to reports, the revered traditional ruler said, quote, "I waited patiently upon the Almighty, the King of Kings. He eventually did it in the midst of many trials." However, the decision of the traditional ruler to pick a new wife for the third time after his previous marriages crashed has been greeted with mixed reactions by Nigerians. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation on 0708-066-8014. Tweet at us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Now, ladies, so many reactions to this issue, but my question, some see it as a powerful combination, while others see it as a compromise of her faith. Nima, what do you think this is about?
As far as I'm concerned, it's, marriage is, a union of two adults. And, on all religions, he's encouraged to get married. I think she's done the right thing. And I think, Nigerians, in their usual style, celebrated this marriage. So a lot of people would react that she did something wrong. They'll pick on issues about the marriage, or the Ooni did something wrong. Ooni is of Christian faith. That's how I know him. Of course, he's sitting on a traditional stool, so he must, practice certain traditions. But as far as that goes, he's not done anything strange. And we're Africans, and we're also religious people. So whatever faith you practice is separate from your roots as Africans. And we must continue with certain traditions of our practices of our various cultures. So we do traditional marriages, and then we all need to question. Is there anybody here who didn't have a traditional marriage? At least I remember they still took yams to my family people.
That's the one I did.
So that's tradition. If you must uphold that, you must uphold certain traditions. And, they are not extremely against your religion, then they are permissible. The fact that she crossed over the Osu was my concern.
That's Kamud.
The Kamud. Yes. Everybody said it was blood, and I was wondering, blood. Yawele said is strange to Yoruba, but I know Yawele say Osu. So I kept waiting. Unfortunately, he hit the nail and said it was Kamud. So Kamud is used in traditional marriages. It signifies renewal. And if you know what the Kamud is used for by cosmetologists, it's for renewal of skin. I put it with honey and I use it on my face. And I know it's also used for brides on their wedding day to signify renewal.
She was
I don't honestly, I just feel that, we tend to just do this traditional thing, and I understand the place of tradition, but as a Christian, and with my personal beliefs and what I've seen of videos of her being a prophetess,
an evangelist,
an evangelist speaking boldly and representing God, speaking and representing and propagating the gospel, I feel that there's no justification in my head for her marrying the Ooni of Ife. Now, it's a personal decision, it's her life. She doesn't need to justify it to me, but I can choose not to agree with her. I can choose not to support what she's done because it does not cast my religion in a good light. And I feel that at the end of the day, she's entitled to her life. But when you become a spokesperson for God, which is what she is, which is how she stands. If you see those videos, she comes with authority that I have the authority of Jesus, I'm casting you evil out. You come with that authority and
so
then
you see it as a compromise of her faith?
I see that the Ooni of Ife's wife, the prophetess, has majorly compromised her faith because the Ooni might say he's a Christian, but when he becomes a traditional ruler, he has decided to take on the role of Osha, which is what they call him. He's a supreme being, he's a
that
God.
Has no religion.
Do you understand? So if you've taken up that role, and I've seen many, and I know people personally, that my dad's friend that was offered to become a king in his town, but because he was a Christian, he said, there are a lot of traditional rites that will be involved with this that I don't want to, that does not comply with my faith.
You see this as affecting her congregation, so to speak?
I say that I don't agree with it. I totally don't support it.
Miriam, what are your thoughts on this matter?
I agree with Tope, I guess also being a Christian and what I know Christianity to be. And so I see that for me it comes like there's a conflict of interest here. But then also, because she's already, I would almost say everything that she said. So another part will be, maybe it is time for us to begin to look at our religion, our own traditional religion critically. Most of us, the very first thing we've heard about our religion is through the eyes of the faith that we practice now, through Christianity. Many of us haven't really looked past what we've been told about our, traditional religion. So
understanding it for yourself.
Yes, maybe it's time now to look at it, because he said something that's very important. That's the Ooni. He said that the thing he most wants for her to bring into her role as queen is her faith, and that he hopes that she brings it, and it comes to bear as she takes up her role as the queen. So maybe it is not as, compromising as we think it is. Maybe it's something that works with.
Let's quickly take this call. Miriam is on the line calling from Apapa. Go ahead with your contribution, Miriam.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I bumped into the view and I thought I was on journalist hangout. Okay, so it's an interesting issue you people are talking about, but I really don't have much to talk about that. I want to talk about the view. It's looking too serious. Because I'm begging you.
Don't worry, we are getting there. Cool down. We are just starting.
Because I like her. I don't know her name, but I like her. But then it seems too serious. Please, beg Mariah.
Mariah will soon come back. Don't worry.
There's something about you people. Please now.
But then, all right, thank you so much, Miriam. But should religion be a problem in marriage? Should it be?
It should be.
For a Muslim,
it should be an issue, sir.
For a Muslim.
Why?
But let us say...
For a Muslim, it is. It's not about whether it should be. It is a major issue when it's the female converting. Because, women are supposed to be submissive to their husband and adopt their husband's faith. So we're not encouraged as Muslims to interfaith marriages. But I wanted to mention the fact that your religion and traditional stools have been merged conveniently well. There's no crossing over. Because we have this mentality, like Miriam said, seeing our different traditions from the place of our religion now, we do not believe that they do anything that doesn't contravene religion. I come from South Ibie. In my place, we have the Idonogi, and he's a practicing Muslim, an uncle to me that I know very well. And I know that he would never compromise his faith for religion, for anything, tradition. Or anything, that is not humanist in the name of tradition. So we assume that everything traditional here is no longer humanist. They kill people, they do all sorts of things. That's why people would go crazy and think anything red on the floor was blood. It could have been palm oil, for God's sake.
From the pictures, it looked like blood. But
it could have been palm oil. Palm oil is a very red substance as well.
All right, quickly, let's take Honora's call. Honora, are you there?
Yes.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Omera.
Omera, okay.
Welcome to the show.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is, we Africans, we mistake some things. Is Omera not Onera? O-M-E-R-A.
No,
yeah, we got your name.
We've gotten the correct.
Okay. My dad was a first-class chief from Kogi, and while he was alive, and he's a Christian, and he studied history and religion, CRT as well. He taught me so many things. We mix up our tradition, what we are made of, to religion. Is totally wrong. Even if it was blood that the woman stepped on, it has nothing to do with her religion. People should understand that. In Israel, there are some things you cannot do because you are an Israeli, not because you are a Christian. You understand? That is where we mix it up. In my place now, like, you not go after your brother's wife or sleep with anybody that your friend has slept with. That is illegal. It's totally wrong. Leave the religion aspect. If the religion permits it, it's a different thing. But there are some certain things that should be done according to our tribes.
Thank you, Amara. Thank you for your contribution.
I wanted to say something about this blood, because blood keeps coming up in the issue. And I feel that blood is something that we find in almost all religions that we practice. Is an important symbol that's practiced in the religions we practice in Nigeria. In Islam, well, when you kill the ram, like in my house, I have a Christian mother and a Muslim stepfather. You would not just go to the market and buy chicken. You have to cut it, and that blood that flows out is very, it's important. When they kill the ram, I mean, you can disagree or agree with me.
Clarify. I wanted to look at the time, but since you mentioned it, the essence of the letting out the blood in Islam is totally medical. We believe that whatever illness is in the animal before consumption goes away with the blood.
It's symbolic. The blood is not
something. That's the only symbol it has. Earlier.
It's totally medical.
Quickly. Can I make it very short?
That, yes, I respect tradition, but I think that when we start watering it down with religion, our tradition is very important and it should be kept proper. Don't water it down with religion. Maintain it and respect it.
Next, we discuss the Apapa gridlock. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, thank you for staying with us. Over the period of time, the situation of Apapa gridlock has been a major concern for Nigerians, especially those living in Lagos. As we all know, Apapa is a major port area for the country, as Nigerians depend on 85% of imported goods from there. Report has it that people are beginning to sell their houses, close down businesses. Banks are also packing out of the area. What is the government doing to improve the state of that area? Joining us on the show is the chairman, Lagos State Wharf Landing Fees Collecting Authority, Joe Igbokwe. Thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning.
All right, before we go to this topic, earlier on our hot topics, we were talking about the Ooni's new marriage, and we're asking if religion should be an issue in marriage. What are your thoughts?
Well, I am a student of the Bible, and I know about Esther, who got married to the king by mere accident of history. And they knew what happened thereafter. She was used
as an agent
to
of change.
save the people of Israel from total annihilation and total removal from the face of the earth. It was God's undoing by just mere accident of history.
So this could be the case then?
It could be, because it could be. He could be to change this. And don't forget, Ooni is a Christian. Ooni goes to church.
Which is what I know.
He goes to church. So he must something informed his
There
decision.
is always a scripture for everybody that wants to.
Yes, it's total.
We will find the
has
scripture
an answer to every problem that we face.
Miriam wanted to say something earlier, so if you just quickly clarify so we can focus.
I was saying the symbol, blood as a symbolic thing in religions that are practiced all across Nigeria. And I was talking about the ram in Islam, which is when the blood is let out, actually. As it flows out, it mixes with the earth. It's like a form of sacrifice to God. As with, in Christianity, we talk about the blood of the lamb, the blood of Jesus Christ, I'm just saying blood should not be such a scary and unfamiliar thing to Nigerians, because, it is
let me even help you there. When the Israelites were about to leave Egypt, there was something like that.
Yes.
They had to sacrifice,
to
put on the
to know
doorpost.
who is who. So these things are there.
All
we
right.
cannot remove some of these things.
Can we now go to
our
Apapa?
lives. No, we can.
Let's now go
We
to
can.
the issue on ground, talking about Apapa. That's on our Let's Talk. So to join the conversation, you can call 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet at us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Now, there's something called the landing fees that has been on for over close to 10 years now. What's the essence of these fees? And because when it was inaugurated or when it was passed into a law, it was said to be done to, you know, help the lives or affect the lives of Lagosians, amongst other things. So make it clear to us what this fees
Wharf Landing Fees Authority was set up in 2009 by Fashola administration in Lagos. And it was meant to help the local government, 100%. That money does not go into the coffers of the state government. Because Fashola noticed that the local government officials were blocking roads, collecting money at different points. If you are coming in from Apapa, they take from Apapa. If you enter Apapa Igomu, it's not just Apapa local government, there's Apapa Igomu. They collect. If you move into Surere, you meet them on Western Avenue. As you go, they continue to collect. And the governor harmonized it. I said, look, stay off the road. We set up Wharf Landing Authority, got the approval of the Federal Ministry of Finance, and it became a law, and they started in 2009. It is not much, 1,000 naira per 40-feet container, and 500 naira for.
What is it used for?
I'm coming. And they pay this money, and we could help Wharf Landing Fees collect the money. And at the end of every quarter, this money is shared among all the local governments, 50 local governments and LCDAs, with the local government domiciling very close to the ports, getting a lion's share. Apapa Igomu, Apapa, Odofi, Oriade.
So those people,
They have money.
and Odofi.
Not too much money.
How much
not
did
too
they
much
collect
money.
by the time?
Not too much money.
So what's
sometimes
the purpose? What was the local government meant to use this money for?
Yeah.
Because you see the local governments you just mentioned are the poorest in terms of roads.
When you look at it, you think the money is too much. It's not much.
Give us an idea.
Sometimes.
How much is it?
Sometimes those local governments don't go up to 1 million
Oh, really?
or 2 million, even in 4 months.
Wow.
So it's not much.
I need to clarify something.
Be-
I live in
because-
Odofi, and something is very clear. We see that trucks park on the road. A lot of uncaptured taxis happen. So you see boys come around, and I can tell you for a fact, every container that is parked along the road is paying 1,000 naira for disturbing residents from accessing their homes. But these are uncaptured taxis. How exactly is this landing fee supposed to be collected? Is it on the road still, or now there's a unit way of collecting this money?
It's an organized thing. What we do, when you look at one single container importers, these are the people you meet by the roadside. We just keep 1 or 2 people there, but 95% of the money is collected online. What do we do? There's what is called button meeting. We have the knowledge of what every ship is bringing. And we go there and pick it. The companies. So from there, we just give them bill, metric tons.
So the ones on the road is illegal?
You just give them their bill, and they go to pay to the banks. Something like floor mills, pro mills, once they are good lands, they will just come. They pay up to 9 million, and then get the tickets.
So
yes, these are the companies. Dangote sugar, Dangote salt, Dangote flour. Small importers, 1 container, 2 container. These are the people that have 1 or 2 people by the way. They come to the office. They don't even need to. We don't need to put people there. You come to the office and pick the tickets. 500, 1,000. Ajinomoto does that. They come to the office to pick tickets for 500 naira. That is for 20-feet container. So that is the practice.
All right.
But sometimes these people will not come. They are carrying the goods of 200 million, but they find it difficult to pay that 1,000. So sometimes
perhaps because they are paying other fees as well.
Which other fees?
Okay.
Which other fees?
So,
this one is for
but
little money. So when people
the Wharf Landing Fees Collecting Authority is still being accused of stopping these trucks on the road and collecting monies from them. And this has been said to be one of the reasons we have gridlock on our roads.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm sure you've heard about this.
I will explain to you. It's not true. It's not true. We're not even in the ports.
Okay.
We're not even, just one on Wharf Road. And by the time, okay, they have finished Wharf Road, and you can't stop anybody there. So I've told you, what is taken from outside is just about 1%. In fact, it's not even, it's importance of one container.
That when you stop that container
No,
on that
I will
road,
tell you.
how
I will
traffic?
tell you what is happening now in that place. It didn't start today. I remember before I even went to Wharf Landing, before I even joined Lagos State government in 2007, I went to help somebody to buy a car because I was selling cars then in Bega. And after that, I decided to now go through Apapa to come to Western Avenue where my office is, where I have my office. And I noticed I was driving because I'm a writer, and I take mental notice of everything. When I came to my office, I wrote something about what is happening in Apapa. This thing happened about 10 years ago. And I foresaw what is going on today there. Every space on that way is occupied by people who have no business being in Apapa. The gutter, the drains became their toilets. On vehicles that are for sale.
About
by
what you're doing to sanitize Apapa.
I'm just giving you a graphic story of how we came to where we are
Will you
today.
tell us
That
more
it didn't
about
start
that
today.
when we return from the break? Well, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Do stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, welcome back. You're still watching Your View, and we still have in the studio chairman of the Lagos State Wharf Landing Fees, Joy Igbokwe, trying to make us understand what the wharf landing fees is about. But then we need to clarify what these fees are meant for, because some persons feel if you are collecting these fees, then you need to fix the roads. We need to use it to fix the roads.
The kind of money you're talking about we are talking about here cannot fix roads. I told you, we share this money every quarterly on Laos, and you see some local governments. I'm not talking about those very close to the where they get
I think
get
we
out
should talk
of
about those close to, because those are
yes, those ones are the ones that get the lion's share of the money.
All right, we have
while others are getting
quickly,
probably
Joe,
1 million, 1-point-something million, they'll be getting about 4 million, some of them
Joe,
2
we
million.
have quickly, we need to take this call. We have a caller on the line, Adeshino on the line. Please go ahead with your contribution. He's calling from Apapa, actually.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Adeshino. I'm calling from Liverpool, Apapa. Regarding the Apapa traffic gridlock, I don't know. I think the government needs to be more proactive in terms of managing the ways trucks illegally just park on the road. These things were not there in previous years of former PDP administration. But it's as if the government is lost on what to do regarding managing the traffic along that line. Now, coupled with that is the fact that even the tanker drivers, they pollute the environment, they defecate everywhere, and the environment is so dirty, and I don't know, there should be public toilets made for these people. There should be a call-off system that to ensure that each truck that is expected at the port should come. Not things like our chairman said, not trucks that are not expected, loitering about and causing problems. I think the government should be more proactive regarding this.
I have a question for you, sir. You're very involved with everybody that works within that entire area. I drove through Ikorodu Road. I noticed that it's even gone all the way into Ikorodu Road. So, like, there is no part that doesn't have the impact of these issues with Apapa. Now, my question is, they've brought together a lot of councils, a lot of task force, a lot of tax committees to resolve those things, and they've always failed. We've had the president come, we've had the governor come, we've had the minister of roads come and say they will clear this thing out tomorrow, but nothing happens. What do you think, based on your interaction with the people there, is causing this problem? Why are they parked permanently on the roads?
Well, like I said, the problem did not start today. It's problem of collapse, infrastructure. I was made the chairman of Wharf Landing in 2015. And I was supposed to I went to Apapa to look for an office recommendation. And in that process, I saw the problem myself.
What is the
I
problem?
saw the roads going down, that Apapa Wharf Road. The same thing, Chinkan Island Road. I saw it going down. And I know that we'll come to this. Because at the time, the Chinkan Island Road, that's if you're coming from Maitu, went down considerably. There was no movement. The same thing happened in Wharf Road. So it's things that we did not do in 15 years. That is number one. Infrastructure, roads leading to the two premier ports went down almost the same time. And this thing did not go down overnight. It was gradual. We saw it coming. By the time I got into Apapa GRA, where our office...
avert it since it was seen coming?
Because we had Dangote, coming.
I'm coming. Dangote is working on Apapa. It's almost complete. By the time you finish that one, you also have to go to Chinkan Island and do it. And clear, like I said, there are people in that axis that has no business in that corridor.
Let's quickly address what the caller said about trucks parking on the road. And I know that monies are collected, like you said, illegal taxes are collected from those trucks parked on the road. So what are you doing to sanitize it? Because you need to capture these funds for government to work with.
It's not about capturing funds that we're talking about now. We're talking about the fact that you cannot take your trucks to go and pick container. You stay almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks on that road for you to get there. And then go. No,
what about,
let's take a few tweets.
On the terminals along Amodofin.
I'm coming. The problems you talk about, terminal operators, chippers.
Why must we always use Lagos State alone for our ports?
This is where the market is. This is where the market is.
Alexa says that, hello sir, it's been well documented that both the Agberos and security agencies are in conveyance extorting monies on Apapa Coconut District. Alawa Akim says the hands of this chairman are weak. Let's have these young folks take over this economy. This sector, the waterways, can be redirected to other ports within Nigeria, Warri ports, Port Harcourt. Every importer does not have to come always to Lagos.
Let me tell you, it's a collective problems. There are people, like I said, that are working there in those two ports that are not supposed to be there. I tell you, there need to be synergy between all the agencies of government working there. There must be a law or a regulatory body. They tried to use Chippers Council to do that a few years back. There was no law backing it up over 5 years ago. And you have all kinds of people there.
I know you can go on, but we have not even gotten into
the nitty-gritty of the matter.
Joe, we have run out of time, please. Thank you.
We have run out of time. A lot of people are there doing nothing.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you.
So short.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the show today. Have a fabulous day. Thank you, ladies, for your contributions. All right. That's the show for today. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.